Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
Release the hood from the inside, and then we'll reach under here, push the lever up for the safety catch, and then lift the hood up. It has struts, there's no hood prop rod. To remove the grill, there are 4 10mm bolts along the top. They do have a Phillips head cutout in them, but I'm going to use a 10mm socket extension and ratchet to remove them. Once those are removed, there are 2 push clips on either side on the top. Use a small flat-bladed screwdriver to pry up that clip. And if these are loose enough, once they're popped up, they'll come right out. Do the same for both sides. To remove the grill, it actually sits over these white grommets, so it's not going to want to move this way, so you're going to have to pry it up, just like that. And you pull it down away from the truck. So I'm going to reach in behind. There's a tab holding the lower part of the grill in, and you have to, it's kind of like a tab, and you can push on it, push down. And with it pushed down, it should pull out like that. So you're basically just pushing it down to get it unlocked off this little ridge. And then at the same time, it's pulling out of this pin down here. So I'm going to just kind of, I need to go do the other side. Do the same thing on the passenger side. Pushed out, pull it out of the lower pin. Lift the grill up and out. We'll put that aside. To remove this plastic bumper corner, there are 2 push clips. And on the inside of the fender liner, there are 2 10mm bolts. They do have Phillips head holes, but I'm going to use a 10mm socket and ratchet to remove them. Use a small flat-bladed screwdriver to pry out these push clips. This procedure will do the exact same thing for the opposite side. Those removed, the bumper will peel outwards. It is clipped along the fender edge here. To pop it out. It almost sounds like you're breaking it, but you're just popping it off. To remove the headlamp assembly, there are 2 10mm bolts on the top. Again, with the Phillips head cutouts. I'm going to use the 10mm socket extension and ratchet. And there is a single 10mm bolt on this side. It does not have the Phillips head screw part. Let's start with these 2. Remove this one. When does it want to come out? I'll just use a magnet. Get out of there. You're going to want to use a rag or an old t-shirt, and we're just going to put it over the metal part of the bumper, because when we move the headlight out to disconnect it, I can rest it on the bumper. I don't want to scratch the lens. I'll lift up on these to pull them off the little grommets. There is a little pushed in part here. I'm going to kind of lift that out at the same time and then slide the whole headlamp out and you can rest it right on the bumper. To remove the entire headlight assembly, we'll unplug the plug sockets, disconnect the electrical connectors at the plug sockets. So push in on this lock here. Sometimes if you push it in at the same time and then take it off. Sometimes I use a flat-bladed screwdriver, make it easier to push on it. This one just pulls straight up. Disconnect the electrical connector, the height adjustment. Push in on the lock. Disconnect the turn signal. And the harness is clipped to the bottom of the headlight. So you can push in on these tabs here. You can use needle nose pliers or the flat-bladed screwdriver you've been using. And you just push them in like that. And hold on to the housing so it doesn't fall. And take the entire thing out. All right, reinstall the headlamp. Get it lined up here. Start the turn signal bulb connector. It'll click when it locks in place. Get the adjustment connector on here. That will click when it locks in place. The headlight one just pushes on. And side marker light locks in place, and then connect the harness back up. Pushes in place. Lamp will go back in. So the bottom of the headlight is going to clip into this metal tab here, into this opening down here. Let me get this lined up in place. Move the air guide, readjust here. Pushes up, goes down over the grommets. The bolt without the Phillips head screw part goes in down here, because that is a machine bolt, and the top ones are self-tapping bolts. These two bolts are self-tapping because they're going in the plastic grommets. I'll just snug it up, and I want to strip out the plastic grommet. Reinstall this plastic bumper corner. So it does have a lip here, and I'm going to slide it behind the splash shield. And we'll push it up into the clips. With our push clips pulled out like that, we'll slide them into place. Push them in, they snap when they're locked. Reinstall the two self-tapping bolts here to hold the fender liner up and then pinch against the bumper corner. Now reinstall the grill. There are 3 push clips in the bottom that will push into this metal bumper support. There's a lower locking tab. This one's really stiff. You can't get to it when you remove it. This is the upper one we push to release. So this will go into here, this will go into here, same for both sides. I'm going to get the bottom one lined up first, and then line up the top. The same for this side. I'm going to push them in at the bottom. Click into place, and push the top up over the white grommets. Put the push clips back in. Reinstall all the self-tapping bolts. They're just going into plastic grommets. You don't have to over tighten them. If you don't get tight, just stop. Do the same for all 4.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.